we've researched and been told by multiple people is while it's running at like 3,000 RPM, this tank should be like 70% full. I safety wear the cap, so I'm not taking it off, but essentially this tube comes out and goes over right here, and so we stick a dipstick in there and it just floods that, and so we can't really check the level at that point. So we ended up draining all the oil. Here's the catch can that ends up overfilling. You can see how, I mean, this was just flooded with oil. Every like 20 minutes we had to stop, but we tried messing with oil level. We spun the dry sump with the drill and trying to check level. We ended up putting pretty much the same amount that we pulled out, but I don't know, we're in line. We're gonna make a pass, get a time slip, and then figure some things out. We're thinking we're gonna run this catch can probably into the trunk. Not sure how we're gonna get it back there, but we'll figure it out. The drive is a little bit shorter today, and I think it's less highway, so that should be helpful. All right, first burnout of day 2. Might be the only pass we get, we'll see. First pass. Day, first burnout. Third day, first pass. Second pass.
Casino side goes 10:47.9, 127. VP Racing.
All right, first burnout. Thursday, Milan Dragway. getting a pass in. First burnout of the last Friday. Our last pass here.
Another pickup truck.
Too much timing out of it. We put a timing ramp, put some more weight on the clutch. Didn't pan out for us.
So we're a couple of weeks past drag week now. Made it back to North Carolina safe and sound, just in time to get hit by a hurricane. If you saw there in the last clip, we ran like a 1278 or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't what the car was doing all week. And actually that was mostly just driver error, me. You see right when I got up to the line, you'll see the brake lights flickered a couple of times. I actually didn't pump the brake pressure up enough before I hit the line lock, and I started to roll forward as I came up on the two-step. So I kind of scrambled and had to stab the brakes again, and I don't know, just didn't get a good launch. So that's where that run kind of fell short. That maybe it wasn't exactly the timing ramp that we had put in it, and the clutch adjustment, but we didn't really get to see what those did to the run just based on that error. Overall, though, car did really well. Engine required, I checked lash once during the week. Engine required little to no maintenance other than fixing some plumbing issues with the dry sump. If you saw Ethan kind of explaining what we had going on, I had this line plumbed as one of the returns. So it's coming from the pump into here, which this is the breather. It's got a tube that runs across here, and it needs to be routed out to the catch can, and then everything else is plumbed in as a return through this port. So, and I didn't realize that. That was a failure on my part. This is just an extra port now at this point. It's pretty useless. What else? What else needed changed? Oh, working on looking at the rear end. Pretty sure all the clutches are locked together now that we've did a nice 1.6 60 foot that on Thursday. The car was, as I was driving it back on to pit road on Friday, the rear end clutches would kind of lock, or everything was together, and then I'd start to turn and the clutches would come unlocked. And the whole back end of the car would like shake, because it unlocked so violently. And I actually thought the rear end was like falling out of the car or something. So we took tires off, took traction bars off. We looked everything over, combed everything over, torqued the U-bolts again, put everything back together, and then started to pull out of the pit stall, and it did it again. But it was, then we figured out it was something internal to the rear end. So that's why we didn't actually make a second pass. We weren't really in contention for any moving up a place or anything. We took 5th in our class, but really weren't in contention for moving up any places, and so we just decided to cut the losses and be able to drive the car in the trailer while we still could. So overall, I could not be happier with this car. This thing is stout for being able to run mid to potentially low 10s right out of the box. Its first time out, pretty impressed with it. It definitely needs a different setup in the rear suspension, because obviously you saw all the hopping, and that's not right. So we're currently working on probably putting a 9-inch in it. Gonna maybe set it up with some ladder bars. We'll see. I'm debating between ladder bars and a 4-link, so probably gonna do away with the leaf springs. But anyway, couldn't be happier. Thanks for watching, and be looking out for the next rendition of this engine.